Welcome to MG Power Platform Solutions. In this video, you will find a solution about how to bulk upload Excel rows from Power Apps to SharePoint List using Power Automate. That can be done in just 2 minutes. Let me show you the steps involved in this. So the execution steps will be, first we will upload the Excel file using an attachment control in the Power Apps. When the user clicks on bulk upload button, then the Power Apps will run in such a way that it will send the attachment control, the file, Excel file to the Power Automate. Whenever the Power App send file to the Power Automate, it will be triggered automatically. The Power Automate has designed in such a way where it creates the file in a SharePoint that has been received from the Power Apps. Then the flow will read the rows present in the Excel sheet. Then it uploads the data that is present in a Excel to a SharePoint list. After upload, the attachment control is cleared in the Power App screen. This is the complete process. You can see here the Excel file consists of 1000 rows. Now I wanted to transfer this data into a SharePoint list. We can do that easily by creating a Power Automate flow. Let's jump into the process. This is the Power App screen where if we attach the file here and click on the bulk upload, then the Power Automate flow will run. This is the Power Automate flow and this flow will run and it will create a file in the SharePoint document library which is in the service desk SharePoint site, and from that Excel file the Power Automate flow will read the data and it will upload into this bulk upload list. I have created a separate site and list for this bulk upload list, which is a SharePoint list. The data will come here. Now you can see this is a empty list. Please keep in mind that column names from the Excel and the SharePoint should have to be same. This is the Power App screen where it has the attachment control and a button control. In the button control, I have given the expression in such a way where attachment will be uploaded from the Power Apps and it create a file and then it will run the flow. So this is the complete expression I gave, and then after uploading it there into the Power Automate, it will again reset here. So this for all, why I have given this for all in the sense, if a user wants to upload two files, that two files cannot be sent as an attachments to the Power Automate. So we must loop through the each file. So that's why this for all will run for each attached file. So that's how I took for all here, and then the Power Automate flow will run if I attach an file here and then click on the bulk upload. At the end of the video, I will show you the complete process. We upload here, then the file should come to the Power Automate flow. The Power Automate flow will trigger automatically. This is the Power Automate flow I have designed. And in this trigger, I added an input of the file name and the file content. Once you click on this add input, there will be file. This is the file content and this is the text, which is the file name. After that, I added an action of loop control. In the later steps, you will get to know why I have added this loop control. This is an initialize variable. Name the variable and set the type as integer. Here I took the value as -1. I will create a file in the SharePoint document library with the attachment that we are getting from the Power Apps. Here set the site address and the folder path. So I'm creating this file in a service desk site. So this is the site and this is the document library. When the flow runs, it will upload a file here. It will store that Excel file here with a unique name. To give the file a unique name, I gave it with the expression where it will show today's date and time hyphen and the file name. This file name I'm getting from the Power Apps trigger. So after that, get file content using path. To get the content that has been created in the SharePoint document library, I'm using here get file content using path action. Provide the site address. The site address will be service desk list as well, and the file path. To get the file path, take a path from the dynamic content. when you search here for the path, there will be a path dynamic content under a create file action. When you select this, the path will be added here. I have already added the path, so I will cancel this dynamic content. Now I'm delaying the flow for a second because to run the process at the backend it will take at least a bit of time. So I'm delaying it for a second. Once the file has been uploaded into the SharePoint document library, I wanted the flow to read all the rows that are present in that Excel. So I am taking here the list rows present in a table action. You can provide the location where the file has been present and the document library name and the file. You can get the file by using the path. Take the path of the file here from the dynamic content of create a file action. To provide the table parameter, the Excel data should have to be formatted as a table. Here I have formatted the data as a table, and to view the table name, once you click on the table design here, you can see the table name. You can copy this table one and paste it here in the next. I added a scope action where this part of the actions will create an item into the SharePoint list. So I wanted to group all the actions from here. Next, add a compose action. I renamed it to settings. I have stored the site address and the list name and the batch size here. For each batch size, for each batch, here I took the value of 1000 to upload. So whenever the flow runs once for each batch, it will upload 1000 items at a time. So I have stored this information in the compose action. Add another action, that is a select action. Here again I have renamed it to generate SP data, where it has two parameters, from and map. Here I am mapping the values from the Excel sheet into a SharePoint list. The left side will be a column names like a key, and the right side will be a values. So I am matching here the values for the key. The first one is metadata. Here this is the expression where this expression is used to generate the SharePoint list item metadata type dynamically for the HTTP request. For example, if the list name is employee details, this expression will generate the list item type with the SP metadata. So this metadata SharePoint list item type will avoid the errors that are coming in the SharePoint HTTP actions. So I added a list metadata here. Then the SharePoint list title I'm mapping with the ticket number. Let me show you how you can map the values here. Provide the name from the this one, you can add it manually, and the value side you have to map the expression. When you click here and here this is the ticket number, and in the expression if you take item item question mark in the square brackets within a single quotes, map from the Excel sheet. This is the ticket number. Let's copy the ticket number column name and then paste it inside the single quotes and click on the value. Then it will add here the item. Once you click on save and refresh the page, you can see the ticket number value has been mapped under title. So like this, you need to map all the keys and the values, like all the columns and the values on behalf of notify me, reported by department, priority, business unit, and the status. These are the columns I have mapped it. Next, add another compose action where we need to insert the batch template here. Template that is used to build SharePoint REST batches request, which creates many SharePoint list items at once, not one by one. In the expression, it is SharePoint REST chain set payload. So next to that, I gave the expression where the action settings from the tracked properties and chain set GUID. So this action retrieves the unique ID from the tracked properties of the settings action. Then it will produce the unique ID for each batch. We already stored the value of settings of the SharePoint site and the list and the tracked properties. When you click on the settings, there is a parameter tracked properties where I have inserted meta batch GUID and chain set GUID. This is the expressions I gave here. Based on this, it will retrieve the unique ID from each batch when the flow runs. For each batch, separate GUID will be produced. Take the example like we have the two files. So for one file it will produce, when the flow runs, it will run twice. For each batch it will produce one unique ID and the another batch it will produce the another unique ID. Next to the post, we need to take the site address. So you can take the site address in the format with the expression. In the expression, you can take the outputs of the settings and the site address. As the site address we have already stored in the another compose action, that is the settings, which is a previous one, and the API slash web slash list get by title. We need the list name here, and the list name also we are retrieving it from the settings outputs. So all this will be helpful to build the SharePoint batch request. And now take a do until. So the actions which are present inside this do until will run continuously until it meets the specific condition, where I have given the condition like loop control is equals to 0. This loop control, we have taken the beginning of the Power Automate flow. This is the loop control where I have given the value as -1. Let me explain this with an example. Like suppose if we took the batch size of 1000 items, for one batch we are taking the batch size as 1000 items. In the loop control I gave the value as -1. For each, I want the Power Automate flow to pass 1000 items each times to the SharePoint list when the flow runs. So I gave the loop here the value as 0 to run only one time, which means like from -1 to 0 it will run one time. Add a select action inside this do until loop. So this select action is usually picks the next batch of items from the full data. If we took an example of 5000 items, when the loop will run each time, it will calculate from the 0 run for the first loop. Like first, the calculation part will be 1000 into 0. It will skip 0 items. The complete 1000 items will be uploaded into the SharePoint list. For the second loop, it will calculate 1000 into 1, because the flow has already ran one time, so it will skip the first 1000 items. For the third run, 1000 into 2, so it will skip 2000 items from the beginning and it will add the next items. It will continue up to 5000 items. As you can see here in the expression, it will first skip and multiply with the batch size, and the iteration indexes do until outputs and the settings of the batch size. So in the map value, we have another expression that is replacing the batch templates with the raw data. So this expression will replace the raw data in the batch template. After skipping the values, whatever the present or remaining values will be added as a JSON structure and replaced in this raw data. Control, we already take the initialize variable value as a -1. Then again here we are setting that variable value length. In the taken another action, that is a set variable, and select the name from here from the drop down, and the value in the value body of the select. This is the select. Here we have the remaining items value. Length of the body of the select will be set in the initialize variable. That initialize variable value will be taken into the do until action. So this is how the process will run. After that, set variable, add and apply to each action. In the apply to each action, take the expression like this. If the loop control is equals to 0, it creates an empty list. If not 0, then the flow will split the data into two parts. For the first part, it will, for example, it will take first half of the items and then it will skip the first half of the items, which means it returns the second half. Then it creates an array with the first half and the second half. If we take an example of 1000 items, first take the items of 500 items. For the second expression, it will skip the first 500 items so that the remaining 500 items it will gather. It will both combinedly add first half and the second half. So together it will be 1000 items. Next, the batch data. Take a compose action and add one more expression in the inputs of the compose, where here we are joining the items that are getting from the Excel rows with separated by a line breaks. So this is that join item and the decode URI component. So it is joining the item with the decode URI component will actually generate the line breaks. Now we have everything ready up to here until this action. Then we'll pass the values into the send HTTP request to SharePoint action. To create items into the SharePoint list, we are adding this REST API method where we need to input the site address from the dropdown, or you can also paste the site address from the URL. And next, the method will be a post method because we are creating an item into the SharePoint list. So the method will be post method, and the URL you need to paste this one there. And the headers part you will get it from the Microsoft documentation. And then after to the batch, we need to add the change what how we have created in the previous step. The same batch GUID we need to add for every batch there. So the batch GUID will be tracked from the tracked properties of the settings of SharePoint site and the list present in the batch template, actions, settings, tracked properties, and the batch GUID. Same for the body as well. Here everywhere the batch GUID need to be given wherever it is necessary. As you can see here, the chain set and the batch as well. Next to the content of transfer encoding binary, we need to take the outputs of the batch data where we have joined all the text that have been separated with the line breaks. You can take the outputs of batch data. You can see the output here. Now the complete flow is ready and we can save and test the flow. I will show you the complete process now by uploading a file, how the process will exactly execute. So let me come back to the Power App screen. In this Power App screen, I will be attaching a file. I have the Excel data, which is a bulk upload to SharePoint. Let me attach this file. The file has been attached. Now, when we click on the bulk upload button, the Power Automate flow will run. And again, when I came back here to the Power Automate flow, let's check the run history of a flow. Now the flow should run. When you came across the flow run history, the status of the flow will be running, as you can see here, and it is 26 seconds ago. When the flow runs successfully here, see the flow is running. After the flow runs successfully, it should have to create a file in the SharePoint document library of service desk SharePoint site. When I refresh this page, if the bulk upload approach file has been created in the shared documents of service desk list. When I came back here again to the bulk upload SharePoint list, this is an empty list here. When I refresh the page, it should have 1000 items in it. You can see the count here. There is 1000 items in this SharePoint list. Transfer the data into the SharePoint list within 2 minutes. This is how you can transfer your Excel data or bulk upload your Excel data into a SharePoint list with this flow. I will provide all the expression, all the content that I have been used in this Power Automate flow in the video description. So you can check it out there. If you want this solution or customized Power Platform solution, contact to us. The contact details will also be available in the video description. For more content or solutions in Power Platform, like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.